Yo, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So I am currently recording this the night of the first round of the draft. It's post-draft, obviously. That's kind of my reaction to it. And I want to talk a little bit about the first round, but especially about the Jamar Chase selection to the Bengals, because I've been seeing a lot of people talking about this on Twitter, and I've been one who's been talking about Jamar Chase for a while. And as a Bengals fan, this has been something that I've had feelings on for a while about who the Bengals should choose and what direction they should go in the draft. So coming into the draft and coming into the whole draft process, the whole debate for the Bengals was whether they'd get a guy like Jamar Chase or Kyle Pitts, or get a lineman like Penei Sewell to protect Joe Burrow after seeing the injury that he suffered last season. Now, in the very beginning, before the draft really started to heat it up, I was more feeling like they should get a lineman, get someone to protect Joe Burrow, just looking at the licks that he took last season, and obviously, seeing his knee get blown out and something that could affect his career down the line. You want to protect your star. But as it got closer to the draft and I was getting a better look at it, seeing pro days, seeing combines, well, no combine this year, but seeing the pro days, seeing guys work out, looking at the bigger picture, I decided, I think Jamar Chase really is the right guy for the Bengals for many different reasons. If you look at the draft this year and you look at the players available and what these teams need, I think Jamar Chase is just the smarter choice for the Bengals. So the biggest thing for me is, if you look at this year's draft, it's a very lineman-heavy draft. There's plenty of linemen that the Bengals can get in the second and third rounds that can still help protect Burrow, and they have some young linemen like Jonah Williams, who's coming back from injury, who can still be good. They just signed Reef in free agency, so they've got some pieces there where they can look to build. And the other thing about drafting a lineman early, at least if you ask me, I think it's pretty risky just looking at how many good linemen we've seen that get drafted early, get injured, and don't end up panning out how a lot of their teams want them to. But with Jamar Chase, I feel like he's one of the closest things to, a sure thing in this draft, from the close players to a sure thing in this draft. Just looking at what he's done, looking at him as a player, I think he is the most draft-ready non-quarterback player in this draft, most NFL ready player in this draft. I made a whole video about him, so I'm not going to go on and on about why I think Jamar Chase is so good, but I just want to talk a little bit about why I think it is a good move for the Bengals. So going forward, if you look at the Bengals right now, Joe Burrow, who they drafted last year, the number one pick, obviously, the future of the franchise. Also, T. Higgins, who they drafted last year, who was very good for them, very productive as a rookie. They've got other young wide receivers like Tyler Boyd, Auden Tate. They've got plenty of young talent in the receivers on offense. And no, don't forget about Joe Mixon either out of the backfield. They've got some guys. These guys are all very young. These guys will all, I saw a tweet earlier today, all of these guys will be playing for the Bengals for at least 3 more years because of their contracts. So the Bengals have plenty of pieces that they can build with. So I think drafting Jamar Chase was extremely important in the first round, because you get another guy like that who can just has the potential to be a star going on in the future. I think that's far more valuable than getting, somebody like a lineman who, don't get me wrong, would be very valuable in protecting Joe Burrow, but someone sometimes not sure about, could get injured. But like I said, Jamar Chase, can't miss prospect. Wide receivers, typically, you never know, knock on wood, don't get injured as much as guys like linemen. And he definitely adds to just the array of young talent that the Bengals have going forward. Looking at the rest of the draft, just for the Bengals specifically, they have plenty of room now to draft some linemen, and a couple players on defense. That's going to be the big focus for the Bengals. Made some free agent signings. There's a few things I think they could have did differently in free agency. Maybe focus a little bit more on the line, especially if they weren't going to draft a lineman in the first round, which they ended up not doing. But overall, I think they're looking all right. But other thoughts about the first round, I think it went largely how a lot of people expected. That whole quarterback landscape. Trey Lance at 3 was a little bit surprising, but at the same time not too surprising. We knew the 49ers were going to go with either Lance, Fields, or Jones. I've been thinking for a while that Jones wasn't going to be the right pick. I think out of those 3, he's the least NFL ready guy. I think Lance is a good pick. I talked about, my video about quarterbacks, about what I thought of, the 5 best quarterbacks in the draft this year. And my concerns about Lance is just that, the level that he was at, that he wasn't going against the same kind of competition that he'll see in the league. But if you look at the film, the film doesn't lie. He is a good quarterback. 287 pass attempts without an interception consecutively while he's at North Dakota State. I mean, that's special. So I mean, he's gonna do good things over there. We saw more, players getting reunited. Jalen Waddle going to the Dolphins to go back with Tua, going along with the theme with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. Same with Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith in Philadelphia. So a lot of interesting moves. I'm interested to see, what happens the other 2 days. And obviously, quarterbacks, forgot to even mention this. Mac Jones to the Patriots. So interested to see what the Patriots end up doing there with him and Cam Newton, what their whole plan is there. So plenty of interesting things to look into. I'm looking forward to the rest of the draft and see what it brings. But I also want to make this video to mainly talk about the situation with the Bengals and Jamar Chase, and why I know a lot of people have been critical, but as a fellow Bengals fan, I want to tell people, like, look, I think this is the right choice. I talked about it. With the talent the Bengals have now, I think there's plenty of potential in that team, and I think Bengals fans, for the first time in a while, can really be hopeful for the future of the franchise. But anyway, with that being said, still a few more days of the draft left. I'll see, maybe I'll make another video like this at the end of the draft. Definitely, want to make some longer videos talking about the draft as a whole once it's all over with. But yeah, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Godspeed.